Welcome back to DSC Books.
And hello again. Today, we're diving deep into a real classic, Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451.
It's just one of those titles, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's so iconic. And that number, 451 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's the temperature at which book paper catches fire.
Yeah. And it sets up this whole terrifying future where, firemen aren't saving houses, they're burning them.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically burning ducks.
Exactly. So our mission today for this deep dive is basically to walk through the book following its three parts.
It was a pleasure to burn, the sieve in the sand, and burning bright.
Right. And we really want to focus on the characters, especially Guy Montag, our main guy, and the key events that push him, from being this totally compliant book burner
To a wanted man on the run, yeah.
and eventually something else entirely, a preserver.
It kicks off with such a strong image, though. That paradox. Montag taking this special pleasure in burning.
Oh, absolutely. He's introduced almost ecstatically, that fierce grin, the helmet with 451 on it.
Like a conductor, Bradbury says. Playing symphonies of burning.
Yeah, destroying history, the charcoal ruins, and that initial feeling, that sort of forced happiness is so crucial.
It has to fall apart.
It has to unravel completely. He thinks he's happy, but that certainty is, well, it's about to get seriously challenged.
Okay, so that fierce energy, that initial pleasure to burn,
Yeah,
it really sets the stage for part one. This is where everything starts to shift for him.
definitely. We need to look closely at Guy Montag, the fireman, as he is at the start. He's all about this kind of ritualistic destruction.
The descriptions are so visceral. The brass nozzle, the venomous kerosene.
Striding through burning paper like a swarm of fireflies. It's very visual, very forceful. But inside, well, that's another story.
Yeah, the smile. That's the tell, isn't it? He actually notices it himself that it never went away, this grin.
Right, he says, as long as he remembered. Which makes you think, well, if you have to remember to smile.
It's not real, it's a mask.
Precisely, a mask of just, going along with things. And that mask starts to crack the instant he meets Clarisse McClellan.
It just melts. The book says it slides away, folds down, like tallow.
Yeah, blown out. And in that moment, he has this shocking thought. He was not happy.
It's like the mask comes off and he sees what's underneath for the first time.
And right after that, you find out he's already got this secret, the books he's been hiding behind the ventilator grill.
So the dissatisfaction, the guilt, it was already there, just buried.
Waiting for a trigger. And Clarisse is absolutely that trigger. She's the catalyst.
Let's talk about her, Clarisse
Yeah.
McClellan. She's just different, the complete opposite of that world.
Totally. She's described as slender, milk-white face. There's this gentle hunger about her, this curiosity.
She doesn't just glance at things, she actually looks. She pauses.
Which is exactly why society labels her antisocial.
Right, she's 17 and crazy because she doesn't fit the mold.
She talks about things like, dew on the grass, the moon, how leaves smell like cinnamon. She watching people.
Not like her peers who just shout or drive fast or fight.
No, she wants actual conversation, real connection. And that's heresy in this society built on speed and noise.
Montag feels like she's circling him, shaking him quietly, emptying his pockets. Metaphorically, right?
Yes, stripping away his defenses, his assumptions.
And then comes the question, the big one.
Are you happy? Just like that. So simple, but so devastating.
It cuts right through all the noise, all the denial.
He tries to brush it off, but it hits him hard. He can't unhear it. It forces him to confront the emptiness inside.
And that emptiness is staring right back at him at home, with Mildred, his wife.
Mildred Montag. Yeah, she's almost a symbol of what the society does to people. He sees her as this empty vessel.
And the first thing we really see of her is terrifying, the overdose.
Right. The same night he meets Clarisse, he comes home, finds the bottle of sleeping pills empty, 30 of them.
But the reaction is what's truly disturbing. Not doctors, but handymen.
With these snake-like machines. And the operator's just so casual, we get 9 or 10 a night.
Like it's routine maintenance. Suicide is just another Tuesday.
It's horrifying. And her life is completely plugged in. The seashells, the little radios in her ears.
Always that electronic ocean of sound. And the parlor walls.
Oh, the parlor walls. 3 of them, wall-to-wall TVs. And she wants a 4th. She calls the characters family.
It's her whole world. An investment, she calls it later. A substitute for actual life, actual connection.
Montag sees their bedroom as a mausoleum, a tomb. She doesn't remember the overdose, can't even remember where they met just 10 years ago.
And that dandelion test Clarisse does.
Yeah, rub it under your chin. If it comes off yellow, you're in love.
And for Montag, nothing. It confirms he's not in love with anyone, It highlights this mutual emptiness between them.
So you've got this internal pressure building in Montague, the fake smile, Mildred's emptiness, Clarice's questions.
And it all comes to a head with that awful fire call.
Right.
The old woman.
Right. The most important event of part one, definitely. The martyrdom scene.
They go to this old house, and the woman, she won't leave her books. She just stays there.
This isn't like the other calls. She's confronting them, making them face what they're doing.
And then she says it, that quote.
"Play the man, Master Ridley. We shall this day light such a candle, by God's grace, in England, as I trust shall never be put out."
Wow. Connecting her burning to historical martyrs.
Exactly. And Beatty, Captain Beatty, he knows the quote instantly. "Latimer to Ridley, 1555, burned for heresy."
So the woman is deliberately framing this as dying for truth, for
Well,
knowledge.
It makes the burning profound, not just procedural. And Montag, it completely shakes him.
Physically, his hand just acts on its own, steals a book.
Yes, with a brain of its own, it says. He grabs one, hides it under his coat. This small, impulsive act of theft.
That's the point of no return, isn't it?
Absolutely. Beatty tries to brush the woman off, calls her a fanatic, says their job is just cleaning up messes, but Montag can't shake it.
He sees the fire, he
No.
sees the guilt. He realizes someone died for ideas.
And now he has physical proof of his own rebellion hidden away, the stolen book. It sets up everything for part two. He has to figure out why.
Okay, so part two, the sieve in the sand. Montag's got the book, he's questioning everything, but he's completely lost.
Yeah, he's in this state of despair, really. He's had this huge realization that a man was behind each one of the books.
Not just paper and ink, but lives.
Yeah.
Lifetimes of work.
And he spent a decade destroying them. So the question shifts from just, am I unhappy, to what did that woman die for? What's in these things?
He tries to bring Mildred into it, doesn't he? He shows her the stash of books from the ventilator.
About 20 books. He pulls them all out. He makes this desperate plea, like maybe these have answers. Maybe this is what we're missing.
Trying to connect with her, maybe save her from the pills, the empty life.
But Mildred's reaction is just pure panic.
Horror. She grabs one and runs towards the incinerator.
Exactly. She's terrified, not of the ideas, but of losing the house, the parlor walls, the investment, as she calls it.
The books are a threat to her comfort zone, her artificial family.
So she chooses the illusion right there. She effectively betrays him long before she actually calls Beatty.
So Montag realizes he's alone in this at home. He needs help. He needs a teacher.
And he remembers someone, Professor Faber.
The old man from the park about a year ago.
Right, a retired English professor. Faber spoke about the meaning of things, not just the things themselves. Montag remembers him feeling alive in a way no one else did.
And Faber had given him his address back then, which was risky.
A quiet act of potential rebellion, even then. But Faber is also very aware of his own limitations.
He calls himself a coward, doesn't he?
He does. He admits he saw it all happening, society falling apart, and he said nothing. He stayed silent.
Which is why he feels he can't act now. But maybe he can guide Montag.
Exactly. And this is where he gives Montag that crucial breakdown, the three things missing from their society. This is really the core philosophy of the book.
Okay, let's unpack those. What's the first thing?
Number one, quality or texture of information. Faber says books have pores, they show life's complexities, the details.
Which people don't want. They want smooth, simple, wax moon faces.
Right. Comfort over truth. If you strip out anything potentially upsetting or complex, you end up with shallow, meaningless information. No real quality.
Okay, quality. What's number two?
Leisure to digest it. And he's very clear, this doesn't just mean free time. They have plenty of off hours.
But it's not real leisure.
No, it's time filled with noise, speed, driving 100-mile-per-hour, the parlor walls shouting at you. There's no quiet time to actually think.
The culture is designed to prevent reflection. Keep the mind spinning too fast.
Constantly distracted. And the third thing...
The right to carry out actions based on what you learned from the first two.
Exactly. What good is quality information and the time to think about it if you're not allowed to do anything based on that understanding?
So knowledge becomes useless, even dangerous, without the freedom to act.
Which is why Faber is initially so pessimistic. An old coward and a newly rebellious fireman. What can they really do?
They have the quality Montag has stolen a Bible. They feel the lack of leisure acutely. But the action part, that's terrifying.
And that desperation leads us right into the key scene of part two, the sieve and the sand.
Ah, the subway scene is so stressful just reading it.
Isn't it? Montag is on the subway, trying desperately to memorize passages from the Bible, maybe the last copy anywhere, before he has to potentially hand it over to Beatty.
And he remembers trying to fill a sieve with sand as a kid. The faster he tried, the faster it fell through.
It's the perfect metaphor for his mind trying to grasp and hold on to this immense, profound text under impossible pressure. The words are just slipping away.
And making it literally impossible is the noise. That ad jingle.
Oh, but Denim's dentifrice ad, Denim's does it, just blasting relentlessly over the speakers.
Drowning out the Bible, drowning out thought itself.
He actually screams, trying to shout the ad down, trying to focus on, consider the lilies of the field.
A line about quiet contemplation versus this commercial assault, it's brutal.
It perfectly illustrates how the culture actively prevents deep thought. It's auditory warfare, really. So Montag, out of sheer frustration,
starts tearing pages out of the Bible to force Faber's hand.
Right. It's an act of violence against the very thing he's trying to save. But it works. Faber caves.
Agrees to help find a printer and gives Montag the earpiece, the green bullet.
Yeah. So now Faber can be the queen bee, listening and advising from safety, while Montag becomes the drone, the one out there taking the risks.
And the risk comes immediately. He goes home. And who's there?
Mildred and her friends, Mrs. Phelps and Mrs. Bowles. And their conversation is just chilling.
It's a perfect snapshot of the society's apathy, talking about the war like it's a quick TV show.
It's always someone else's husband dies.
Just
zero empathy.
Yeah.
And their reasons for voting.
Purely looks. President Noble won because the other guy was short and mumbled.
It's exactly what Beatty claimed the public embraced superficiality. They chose this.
Montag just snaps, doesn't he? Faber's yelling in his ear, "Don't do it!" But he can't help himself.
He pulls out a book of poetry, reads Matthew Arnold's Dover Beach.
And the reaction, it's explosive.
Because the poem is about loss of faith, uncertainty, pain, real, complex, melancholic emotion.
Mrs. Phelps just breaks down sobbing. She's never encountered anything like it. It's too real.
And Mrs. Bowles gets furious. Poetry makes people sad. It's awful. She confirms the societal fear of anything uncomfortable.
Then Montag really lets loose on Mrs. Bowles.
Yeah.
Lists her divorces, abortions, neglected kids.
It's brutal, yes, but it's raw truth hitting this bubble of enforced happiness. It shows how fragile that happiness is.
Yeah, he tries to cover by burning the book, claiming it's just a thing firemen do once a year, but
the damage is done. Faber warns him, "You were one of them so recently." He needs patience. But Montag's instability is now out in the open. The confrontation is inevitable.
Which leads us straight into part 3, Burning Bright. He heads back to the firehouse knowing something's wrong.
Oh yeah, and Beatty is just waiting for him, ready to deploy his main weapon. Words.
The intellectual attack, it's dizzying.
Beatty just floods him with contradictory quotes from famous authors. Pope, Dr. Johnson, Sir Philip Sidney.
Trying to show that books are just chaos, that they disagree with each other, lead to confusion.
Exactly. He's trying to break Montag's newfound faith in books by showing they offer no single easy truth. Read a few lines and off you go over the cliff, he says. He wants Montag to give up, to see it's all meaningless.
To justify the burning.
Right. Faber's whispering in his ear, "He's trying to confuse you. Watch out."
But then the alarm goes off. The final alarm.
And the salamander truck screams through the city and stops right in front of Montag's own house.
That sickening moment of realization. Beatty just smiling.
The betrayal is confirmed. Beatty tells him Mildred turned him in. And her friends, too.
Though Beatty says he already suspected Montag anyway.
Right. Montag is just numb at this point. The mask is completely gone.
And then Beatty twists the knife about Clarice.
Yeah, reveals her file, calls her a time bomb, basically says she was too curious, asked too many why questions instead of how, and implies she's better off dead.
Showing the state saw her innocence and curiosity as a fundamental threat.
Absolutely. Which brings us to the huge event of part 3, the climax, really.
Beatty makes Montag burn his own house with the flamethrower, alone.
Calling fire the great cleanser. It destroys responsibility and consequences. A horrifying philosophy.
But Montag almost seems to embrace it for a moment, burning the parlor walls, the idiot monsters.
Yeah, burning the symbols of his old empty life. There's a grim satisfaction in destroying the cage he was in.
But then Beatty finds the green bullet, the earpiece connecting Montag to Faber.
And Beatty holds it up, grinning. "We'll trace this and drop it on your friend."
That's the trigger, the threat to Faber.
It pushes Montag over the edge. Beatty keeps taunting him. "Go on now, pull the trigger."
And he does. He turns the flamethrower on Beatty.
Yeah. Murder. Beatty becomes this shrieking blaze. It's horrific, but there's that strange undertone.
Montag realizes later Beatty wanted to die.
Right. He just stood there poking and prodding, almost daring Montag to do it. Like he was so disillusioned himself, he welcomed the end.
Then he has to deal with the mechanical hound.
Destroys that too. Incinerates it. But not before it manages to stab his leg with the anesthetic needle.
So now he's a murderer, a fugitive, and injured.
His first act, he runs back, finds 4 books he'd hidden in the garden. Then he goes to Fireman Black's house.
Plants a book there and calls in an alarm on him.
Exactly, turning the system on itself. Good night, Mrs. Black. He's fighting back now, using their own tactics.
The escape sequence is terrifying. Running across that huge highway.
Almost gets run down by a car full of kids, teenagers just driving insanely fast, maybe trying to hit him for fun.
Which makes you wonder, is that what happened to Clarice?
It's heavily implied. Just random, thrill-seeking violence born out of boredom and speed. Chilling.
He makes it to Faber's.
And Faber is suddenly energized by the danger. I feel alive, he says. They have a quick drink. Faber gives him directions.
To the river, the old railroad tracks, where the book people are hiding, the hobo camps with Harvard degrees.
Faber is heading off to St. Louis himself to try and find a printer, and then they have to erase Montag's trail.
The instructions are so detailed. Wipe everything down with alcohol, spray moth repellent, turn on sprinklers, burn the bedspread.
Change into Faber's old, smelly clothes. It shows how intense the surveillance is, especially the new mechanical hound they release.
Which is being tracked live on TV. The whole city is watching the hunt.
And then the police tell everyone in the city, everyone, to look out their doors and windows on the count of 10, to spot him.
An entire city becoming eyes for the state. It's terrifying.
But just as the count reaches 10 and all the doors open, Montag dives into the river.
Escapes just in time. The river becomes a symbol of escape, of cleansing.
Totally. He throws off his clothes, douses himself in liquor Faber gave him, lets the current carry him away from the unreality of the city.
And floating there, he finally gets it. The leisure Faber talked about. Time to think.
And he thinks about the sun. How the sun burns time. Since the sun won't stop burning.
He has to stop burning. Someone has to preserve things.
Yes. He decides he needs to join the Guild of the Asbestos Weaver, become a protector, not a destroyer. The transformation is complete.
Wow. What a journey for Montag. From that grinning fireman taking pleasure in burning.
Yeah, enabled by the emptiness represented by Mildred.
To this fugitive finding guidance from Faber, sparked by Clarice's simple question.
And finally embracing this huge weight of preservation.
So recapping that, you can really see how he moves away from that destructive conformity towards something meaningful, something with texture, as Faber would say.
And those key events, the old woman choosing death with her books, Montag's struggle on the subway with the sieve in the sand, and finally killing Beatty, they weren't random. They were like pressure building up until it had to explode.
Right. It was an inevitable result of his suppressed humanity waking up.
They're thinking about how that society got that way. Beatty's explanation is pretty stark, isn't it? And maybe a warning for us, you know?
Absolutely. He makes it really clear it wasn't just the government imposing censorship from the top down.
No, he says, it didn't come from the government down. He insists the public shows it, bit by bit.
They wanted speed, easy pleasure, condensed books, things that didn't upset anyone.
Yeah, the pressure for minorities, and he means any group that might be offended by anything, led to everything becoming bland and inoffensive.
To avoid controversy, they smoothed everything out. Removed all the pores.
And in doing so, removed all the meaning. People traded depth for comfort, willingly. So the real change, the real rebellion, starts small.
Like Faber whispering through the green bullet. Or Montag grabbing that first book. Desperate little acts of trying to learn.
Which kind of brings us to the end, and maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on.
Montag comes out of the river. He survived. He's found that leisure, and he's heading towards those other book people on the tracks. He's ready to preserve, to remember.
He's carrying the burden of the past now, literally, in the books he's memorized. So the question becomes, what responsibility comes with that? He's now a weaver in a world that was designed for burning.
What does that actually mean? How do you rebuild not just knowledge, but a society that understands why it destroyed itself in the first place?
Right. How do you rebuild while remembering the flaws, that love of speed, that fear of being uncomfortable that led to the fire? That's Montag's challenge. And maybe in some ways, it's still ours, too.